Know the top stories of the day. Understand the issues that matter. This is Manila Bulletin News on Web. Your quick rundown of top news in the country and around the world. Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Be fully informed.
Hi, I'm Barbie Atienza. This is MB Now, and here are your news on web. President Duterte said Monday, May 31, that all coronavirus vaccine brands are effective and Western brands are not more superior to Chinese-made ones. This after he approved the use of American-made Pfizer and Moderna for seafarers. During his taped briefing, Duterte said that it is high time that the people would know or must know that all of these vaccines are effective. The president granted the request of Filipino seafarers for Western-made COVID-19 vaccines since this is a requirement before they can board the ships. Foreign ship owners require seafarers to be vaccinated with Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, and Johnson & Johnson. But Duterte maintained that this does not mean these vaccines are superior to Chinese-made vaccines such as Sinovac and Sinopharm. He stressed that there is no clear evidence to show that Pfizer and Moderna are superior to Sinovac and Sinopharm. President Duterte maintained that the government is not lying to Filipinos and that the opposition is only making up stories to confuse the public. During his pre-recorded public address aired late Monday night, the president guaranteed that the government will not lie and are not going to mix the truth to come out with the good. He even promised that if they made mistakes, they would be honest about it to the public. The president also told the public that the government has no business lying to you. People on social media have criticized the government repeatedly for supposedly lying about its vaccination records as well as the number of positive COVID-19 cases in the country.
Sinasabi ko sa inyo, yung lahat ng lumalabas dito, yung katotohanan. Ayaw ninyong maniwala kayo, pero sabi ko sa inyo, huwag kayong maniwala dyan sa mga oposisyon, yung mga dilawan, kasi ang lumalabas na lang nila is naghahanap ng mali, baski wala, at kung meron man, nakukorek ka agad yan. Ngayon, sinasabi ko, I am giving you the guarantee na hindi kami sinungaling at hindi kami magtimpla-timpla ng sa totoo para lumabas ang ganda.
The United Nations is set to provide funds over a 3-year period to the Philippine government to help curb reported human rights violations, particularly those allegedly committed during illegal drugs operations. Department of Justice Secretary Minardo I. Guevara on Tuesday, June 1, said the Philippine government, led by the Department of Foreign Affairs and the DOJ, has completed its negotiations with the UN regarding the joint program on technical cooperation on human rights. The funding will be provided by the UN over a 3-year period, subject to the Philippines' compliance with certain measurable outputs. The UN Human Rights Council issued in October 2020 a resolution on technical cooperation and capacity building for the promotion and protection of human rights in the Philippines. Published reports stated that prior to the issuance of the resolution, it cited that in 2020, it found a widespread and systematic killings in the government's campaign against illegal drugs, which was being done without regard to the rule of law. People from the National Capital Region Plus may now travel to modified general community quarantine areas for tourism purposes, according to Tourism Chief Berna Romulo Puyat. DOT welcomes the decision of the Interagency Task Force on the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases to allow travel for leisure purposes for all ages from the NCR Plus bubble subject to restrictions. In Resolution number 118, the task force allowed leisure travel to and from NCR Plus bubble from June 1 to 15, 2021 to areas under the MGCQ. Travelers below 18 and above 65 years old shall be subject to an RT-PCR test before travel. Such travel shall also be point-to-point only, which means that while pit stops or stopovers are allowed for eating and personal necessities, no side trips shall be made to other tourism destinations. The DOT chief stressed that the local government units still have the final word if they would allow tourism in their respective areas.
Masaya kami na finally in-approve na ng IATF kasama ang DOH at ating mga health experts na pwede na mag-travel from NCR Plus sa iba't ibang mga tourist destinations. Siyempre, ito pa rin ay sang-ayon pa rin kung papayag ang LGU or tourist destination na kung makakatanggap sila ng mga turista. Pero masayang-masaya kami na finally makaka-restart muli ang tourism.
Here is a roundup of news in and around Metro Manila. Let's watch these reports.
For the first time in 3 months, the local government of Navotas recorded no additional case of coronavirus disease on Monday, according to Mayor Toby Tiangco. Local chiefs said the initiatives that they implemented to further combat the spread of virus and lessen probability of transmission have only been effective because it was done with the help and cooperation of all stakeholders in the community. Tiangco believes that the ongoing vaccination program also played a big part in effort to reduce the vaccination of active cases. That is why they highly encourage those who are aged 18 and above to register and participate in the Navo Bakuna COVID-19 vaccination program. The city government also logged a high rate of recoveries of 95.7% as of May 31. The city has been tagged as high-risk area in February this year. The Quezon City Epidemiology and Surveillance Unit has started the mega swab testing in 5 areas of Barangay Old Balara on Monday, May 31. The CESU will start all residents in the area regardless if they lined up or not for food distribution. This after food distribution program of Councilor Franz Pomaren on Tuesday, May 25 reportedly violated health protocols. The CESU will use rapid antigen tests and reverse transcription polymerase chain or RT-PCR tests. They also targeting to finish the mega swab test in 2 days if all residents will cooperate. Out of 6,000 individuals who attended the food distribution, only around 1,000 names were submitted by Pomaran's office to the CESU. Metro Manila mayors are considering giving uniform incentives to convince more people to get inoculated against the COVID-19. Parañaque City Mayor Edwin Olivares, also the chairman of Metro Manila Council, said that some local government units started to have raffle draws to encourage more residents to get vaccinated. Olivares said the Metro Manila mayors were already discussing whether to have raffle draws or give residents other forms of incentives to encourage them to get vaccinated. The MMC also agreed to keep the National Capital Region under the general community quarantine with heightened restrictions, but is pushing for opening up of more businesses. The MMC also wants strict observance and implementation of standard health protocols and retained the 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. curfew in the NCR.
And now let's take a look at the latest news in other parts of the country.
At least 35 fisher folk in Dingalan, Aurora will voluntarily help the local government in protecting marine resources in the coastal waters as well as stop illegal fishing activities. The Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources on Monday said that the fisher folk have undergone training in order for them to get appointed and be deputized as Bantay Dagat volunteers. The Bantay Dagat is a community-based law enforcement program that engages fisher folk in coastal villages or barangays on a volunteer basis to support the detection and enforcement of illegal fishing in the coastal waters. The Department of Health in the Zamboanga Peninsula has confirmed the presence of 3 variants of concern in the Zamboanga Peninsula based on test results released by the University of the Philippines Philippine Genome Center last May 29, 2021. 2 samples tested positive for the B117 variant, which was first detected in the United Kingdom, while 54 samples were positive for the B1351 or the South Africa variant. 1 sample tested positive for the P3 or the Philippine variant, currently classified as a variant of interest. The samples were taken from COVID patients from Zamboanga City, Zamboanga Sibugay, and Zamboanga del Sur provinces from March 29 to May 5, 2021.
Here are the updates from around the world. Here is that report.
India's COVID-19 tally surpassed the 28 million mark on Monday according to Federal Health Ministry. A total of 28,047,534 with 152,734 new cases reported in the past 24 hours. The daily spike of new cases has been falling over the past couple of weeks. Beside as many as 3,128 deaths since Sunday morning took the overall death toll to 329,100. There are still 2,026,092 active cases in the country, as there was a decrease of 88,416 cases in the past 24 hours. The number of daily active cases has been on the decline over the past few days after a continuous surge since mid-April. Israeli and Egyptian officials held talks in both countries Sunday, aimed at bolstering the Cairo-brokered ceasefire that ended the latest deadly flare-up of violence between Jewish state and Gaza's Hamas rulers. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met Egyptian intelligence chief Abbas Kamel in Jerusalem to discuss strengthening cooperation between their countries, according to Netanyahu's office. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi tasked Kamel and his delegation, who also visited the occupied Palestinian territories, with hammering out a permanent ceasefire deal, senior Egyptian security official told AFP. Egypt played a pivotal role in negotiating the May 21 ceasefire between Israel and Hamas that brought an end to 11 days of deadly fighting. China has relaxed its family planning policy to allow couples to have 3 children after a census showed its population is rapidly aging. State media reported Monday, further unwinding 4 decades of control in the world's most populous nation, which have strangled the birth rate. For almost 40 years, China enforced a controversial one-child policy, one of the strictest family planning regulations worldwide, which was relaxed in 2016 to a 2-child policy due to a widespread concern over an aging workforce and economic stagnation. Despite government's effort to encourage couples to have children, China's annual births have continued to plummet to a record low of 12 million in 2020, the National Bureau of Statistics said last month.
For the latest in showbiz, let's watch this.
Following her statement on the status of her relationship with musician Rico Blanco, singer-actress Racal hinted that age should not be a barrier in love. On Instagram, the 23-year-old star uploaded a photo of a cake with a text that reads, "Age is just a number," along with an emoji of tears of joy. Apparently, Maurice was referring to the 25-year age gap between her and the singer, which some people took notice. Speculations about Maurice and Rico's relationship started after the 48-year-old singer-songwriter commented "Love you" on Maurice's birthday greeting post.
Here now are the latest from Manila Bulletin's sports section. Let's watch this.
Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr. on Tuesday asked the Department of Health and the Philippine Embassy in Tokyo to help prized Filipino gymnast Carlos Yulo to get vaccinated before he competes in the upcoming Tokyo Olympics. Locsin made the appeal on Twitter, asking the DOH and the DFA to help out Yulo to get inoculated. Yulo, currently training in Japan for more than a year now, has kept the vaccine rollout for Olympic and Southeast Asian Games-bound athletes held recently at the Manila Prince Hotel in Ermita, Manila. Last week, Gymnastics Association of the Philippines President Cynthia Carrion said she did not allow Yulo to get vaccinated for now because it might affect his training. It is not clear who requested Locsin to help the 2019 World Gymnastics Artistic Championships gold medalist get vaccinated while preparing for his stint in the Olympics.
And those are the news on web today, June 1st, 2021. For more news and details, get your copy of the Manila Bulletin newspaper tomorrow, or you can log on to www.mb.com.ph. You may also subscribe to our newsletter through the link in this video's caption to have the day's latest news delivered to your inbox. I am Barbie Atienza for Manila Bulletin. Join us again tomorrow. This has been MB Now. Be fully informed.